Live from Nashville, Tennessee, it's theTHREE. With the Studio C Band. And here's your host, Laura Harris-Smith.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to theTHREE. I'm Laura Harris-Smith. Last time on theTHREE, did you notice we had an interview with the president and CEO and inventor of MyPillow, Mike Lindell. Well, he has graciously agreed to return to our stage for part 2 of our interview. Would you welcome Mike again, everybody? Mike Lindell. So we have had an interesting time trying to decide where to jump in because your life is like a movie. But basically, you came out of the addiction, but you just whispered to me a little while ago, even though you were, in the middle of all of this success with the pillow and everything, after you got free from the addiction, you still were not a Christian.
Right. I wasn't walking with Jesus. It was like I was freed of I learned this later on. I'm going, well, I'm freed of all these addictions. I'm following what I knew. I knew what God wanted me to do.
Right.
And then, but right out of that, after they had, that I quit everything, January 16, 2009, for the next year and a half, 2 years, through 2010 into 2011, I just doing home shows, fairs, and just basically getting back everything that was taken and that I had lost, and trying to build up. So it was just sustaining. We probably had my kids and some friends, and we were doing, doing these home shows all over the Midwest, and making the pillows at night, selling during the day.
Wow.
But it got to be this one thing. A print ad, or actually an article in a newspaper came out about me in the Minneapolis Tribune on January 2nd, 2011. It was just a human interest story, and here's a guy holding a pillow, and it was, and it came out in the business section. Wow. Well, I was actually in with a friend of mine. Then it was like 6 in the morning, and I was just telling about it. I said someday my phone. I had set it for an order. It would beep. I said someday my phone's going to be so busy I'll have to turn it off for.
Wow.
At that moment in time, you hear beep 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 beep. And all these orders came in, and I didn't know they were going to do this story for sure. Yeah. And it just exploded that day. Well, my kids were in a mall doing a little show there, and the people were wrapped around the upper mall and all this. And I go, wow, people, they want what I've always wanted, what's real and what's truthful. And so I told everyone with passion, I said, we're going to make this infomercial, and we all pooled our money. We had no money, and friends, family, my kids, everyone, everybody put their money in. Well, we talked to a production person, and they go, oh, you need a movie star in there. You need this. And I'm going, okay, I really want to do it, just me and a friend and a real audience. And we ended up we filmed it in St. Paul, Minnesota. It was a real audience. It was just a friend of mine, and I had never been in front of a camera like that. I came out in front of the audience, and I had one line, and it took 9 takes. They said, we can't use a teleprompter. So there was no teleprompter, goodness. And we just did it, and it aired October 7th, 2011. I was living in my sister's basement with nothing left, and it aired at 3 o'clock in the morning, and it came over, and it was just like, wow, this is what, it felt divine.
Yeah.
Well, within 40 days, we just had 5 employees there. Within 40 days, we had 500.
Man,
what
a story.
By December 26th or 7th of that, we're the biggest infomercial in the world. It was just because everybody, I was hiring people off the streets going, everybody knew, I used to have these bars, and everybody knew me from that, and I knew who was addicted, who wasn't. I'm going, okay, you're coming on, but the guy goes, this guy named Mark and Luke. I said, those are good names of the Bible. You're hired. Right. We didn't have it. They go, Mike, we need to have an HR department. I go, that sounds horrible. And they go, you need to be CEO. And I go, don't they just take the money? That's so small. I just wanted to make pillows and get it out there, and we got so big so fast, and all of a sudden when the dust cleared in May of 2012. we had taken millions upon millions of dollars, but we were millions in the hole. We don't use a bank. We had nobody using a bank, and I'm going, what did I do wrong? And I'm going, but then the box stores came calling us, you know. So anyway, we survived, but then I fell away. You know, I got complacent, fell away from God, and in 13, and by the summer of 14, we were within 2 days of being gone again.
That little dot.
It's gone. Yeah. And I wasn't even doing any drugs. I mean, I was clean and sober. I go, okay, what did I do wrong?
Haven't we all done that though?
You know,
I did what you said to do.
Yeah.
What did I do wrong?
Yeah. Well, I prayed for a second chance because it was like, I knew what I had done, and a second chance. I go, the pillow is gone. The half-hour infomercial I got, when it ran now, it didn't take any money in, and it was over. But all of a sudden, then I got one of my dreams, and I told my board. We had a board then. We were a real company then, and all these. And what I did then, I had this dream of where we were going to be by the end of the year. And money-wise, and this is within 2 days of going under, and I'm saying, well, okay, to get there, you're basically building Noah's Ark and waiting for the rains to come. And we're going, how is this going to happen? Right. We did it on faith. And so we went from a garage to a bigger company and then to this building. We bought this building, and we drew it on, my son and I, way back on our day on our deck, I wrote on a napkin, we're going to have quality control here on this piece of paper. And you could overlay the company. And it was amazing. You could put that right over the top. So my friends and stuff, we just made this, built this factory, made it bigger. And in that fall of 14, they said, Mike, we had made a 1 minute and 2 minute commercial that had failed before. And Kim said, this gal in my company, she says, you need to be in the commercial.
Oh my goodness, yes.
And so I go, okay. So I went in the commercial, and it just, every spot you see either breaks even or makes money directly to the people. And so it just exploded. I mean, it just exploded and exploded.
Because God's favor was on you.
Yeah, it was, and it was to get, and I see that now, was to get where I'm at now. What happened was then in the summer, this platform, it is where I'm bringing, I get being as passionate about Jesus as I am about the pillow. And to get to that fall, people got to know who you are.
Yeah,
I could go out the thing and so that was to get the notoriety, to get the, you're not just buying pillows, but you're seeing this. And we kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And then the summer of 2015, we came out with a couple other different commercials, but we made them where it was just real. It was kind of like, one of my sons, making a machine and showing me sewing. Just interesting story. It wasn't just, we spend a third of our life sleeping. Well, everybody knows that. It's the other 2/3 your life affects of how, how sleep affects. But we started doing that, and then an interesting thing happened in the summer of 2015. As you know, that's when the election cycle started.
Yes.
And I saw
that's a whole other can of worms. Hang on. This is what I didn't know about you, is that you have all of these prophetic dreams.
Yeah.
Okay, we got to go for a break, everybody. Come right back. We're going to find out what happened in Mike's dream, all right? Hi everybody, thanks for watching The3. But it dawned on me that I really need to officially introduce myself to many of you, even though I've been in television for 50 years. My parents put me in my first commercial at age 3, and that path carried me all the way to the Shop at Home TV network, where I was a host. I'm a wife of 34 years to Chris, a mom to 6 adult children, and a grandmother to 8 so far. I'm an author of, over 20 books and ebooks. And whatever I write, you can count on the fact that it will help you physically, emotionally, and spiritually, because my passion is body, mind, and spirit health. I'm a certified nutritionist with a degree in original medicine. And my husband and I pastor a phenomenal church in Nashville called Eastgate Creative Christian Fellowship, where we help people get healthy body, mind, and spirit. So if you're ever in the Nashville area, I hope you'll stop in and say hi. God had a son, but what he wanted was a family. So he sent Jesus to come and get us. Likewise, I had a TV career, but what I really want is a TV family. As you can tell by now, I have always had one foot in media and one foot in ministry. and it's all collided now on the3. So please become a part of the Three's family. Visit the link on your screen to give a tax-deductible gift and help me purchase airtime that takes this fun, relevant, faith-based show to a faithless world. Some TV ministries would then call you a donor or a partner, but I'm going to call you family. Go to the link and become a part of my TV family today. I can't do it without you. Thanks. Hey, what do you think of when I ask about your health? Probably just your diet, weight, or a sickness. But health involves so much more than just the body. You also have a spirit and a mind that need nourishing, and the Healthy Living Handbook is going to do just that. It contains a top 10 list of healthy living habits for your spirit, where we'll discuss your prayer life, the Holy Spirit, things you may be substituting for God and not even know it. Then Section 2 contains a top 10 list for your mind. I'm going to help you get organized, deal with stress, help you laugh more, and never be discouraged again. There's even a relationship quiz there that helps you make sure the people in your life are the right ones. Then in Section 3, there's a top 10 list for your body. We'll study the 3 biggies: meat, wheat, and sweets, and other things like weight loss, water consumption, and there's even my essential oils list that tells you which oils help the top 50 common household ailments. Go to lauraharrissmith.com and get your copy of the Healthy Living Handbook today. What if there was a reset button for your body, mind, and spirit? There is! I wrote the 30-Day Faith Detox so you could cleanse your body, renew your mind, and heal your spirit. There are 30 daily devotionals to confront emotional residues from past trials, what I call faith toxins, prayers to refresh your spirit, and then through yummy strategic foods, each of your 15 body systems are cleansed for a total body detox. People are losing weight and gaining faith. Go to lauraharrissmith.com today to get your copy of the 30-Day Faith Detox. Hi everybody, I'm Laura Harris-Smith. Welcome back to the3. I'm sitting here with Mike Lindell, President and CEO and inventor of MyPillow, and he's just telling us more of his incredible story of how God saved his life, gave him this platform. You know that side of it with the pillows and all, but when we went to the break, you were telling us about a dream that you had, and that sparked a whole new season of your life. What happened?
Right. It was June of 2015. It was 2 weeks after Donald Trump announced his presidency, and I had one of the dreams I had where it happens, and it was him and I in a room in an office and meeting, and I'm going, okay, that I've never been political, I've never been anything, but like I knew the pillow was just a platform for this bigger thing, and I'm going, how would this tie in? So anyway, I told that. I told that to so many people, and even my board, because it's locked into your board minutes, right? And we made Jesus chairman of the board a long time ago.
Wow.
So I told them this. So everybody's, they're going to go, wow, this is going to happen. I mean, this stuff had happened so much, and I'm going, well, what would it mean? And as it got into the fall of 16, to the fall of 15, I went over to Israel with a group, and one of the guys there, I asked him, what's a lot of stuff about politics, because I didn't know anything. I didn't know nothing.
Nothing at all.
So I'm learning stuff, and I'm going, about different things. And at that point, then the divine appointment started happening to me. And here I get invited to the National Prayer Breakfast. What happened was I get two things the same month. One was the way I was running my company was almost like a help center, like a ministry, like a. We don't have HR, typical HR. We have it's a help center. So my foundation that I'd set up, I had this idea for this foundation. We can talk about it a little bit later. But I started that then in January. But at the same time, I get this divine appointment. I end up going to the National Prayer Breakfast, and I get there, and I'm picked by 12 people to go pray with Ben Carson. Okay.
Wow.
So I'm getting this room, and I'm going, oh, this is surreal for me. What am I doing? But like I say, nothing. By this time, in my life all the way through, nothing. It was like living inside a movie all the time. Still is.
It sounds like it.
And so I get in there, and we're praying for the country, and he was still in the election then, and we go through that, and the guy says, a couple of you in this room are gonna, it's gonna change. It's gonna be so important to the kingdom, and this guy who said this, and anyway, so that happened. Well, then it gets further into the spring, and obviously we all know that Donald Trump kept getting closer, and then all of a sudden Ben Carson dropped out, and then Donald Trump's the candidate. Well, then now my board, everyone's seeing that, even by that Ben Carson, they were thinking something's going to happen.
Something's happening.
So I end up at the Republican convention, another divine appointment. I would never go there, it was, so I end up there and everybody's recognizing, but I ended up in Mr. Trump's section. And it was a piece about it. The people I'm meeting are going, wow, they're amazing. His family, the people around him, even the Secret Service, I'm going, they're not like any other cops I dealt with. They were nice, not that all bad cops, they were all good people. I got to quick tell a story about a cop. I got to interrupt that to backtrack. Okay. When we talk about our town cop, back when I used to do crack and stuff in 2008, there was a time I had to get these papers to my brother, and I had a warrant out for my arrest, I had to come in from the inner city to bring these papers, and I said, and he had caught me dropping to my brother, and he says, Mike, put them down, and I said, Larry, and his name's Larry, and I said, Larry, if this doesn't get to my brother, you're going to change millions of lives. I said, I don't know how, but it's going to change the course of history, and I said, if you let him take them, I said, I promise next Tuesday in court I'm going to be found innocent. If I don't, I promise I'll have cocaine on me anytime you arrest me, And to this day, he didn't, he let me do it, okay? Well, I met him just last year. I hadn't seen him in 6 years, and he came up, he said, Mike, am I in your book? He said, remember, I did that. And,
wow.
And I said, Larry, why did you believe that? He goes, you were so passionate and believable that I thought, well, what if I'm wrong? What if I do it, and what if it's true? So anyway, so that was just an amazing story that'll be in my book, because Larry goes, I said, yeah, you can be in the book,
Well, yeah, and I'm curious. I'm watching from the outside. You're living your life, and I'm watching just even on social media. I see just about every other day. Mike Lindell has checked in at JFK Airport. Mike Lindell has checked in at the White House. Mike Lindell has checked in at the West Wing. It's like on and on and on. You're somewhere every day. You travel 300 days a year.
Yeah,
you must.
Fun. It is fun. I love what I'm doing. I love just spreading the,
It definitely shows.
So we're up to the Republican convention, and I go to leave there, and now remember, I still had that dream. I'm going to meet the president. I'm going to have, or Donald Trump, and I'm still thinking why, Well, when I prayed with Ben Carson, we said this country, God's given us a second chance, okay? And we talked about all this stuff, or He will. We were praying for a second chance at that time. So anyway, after the Republican convention, I go to leave, and I run into Rudy Giuliani, and we're talking and whatever. I'm meeting him, and I miss my plane. Okay, so I have to get on another plane. And I go to get on that plane, and on that plane, I hear, Mike, and it was Candy Carson. And she goes, you have something. He goes, you need to take we knew you were going to be on this plane. We prayed 2 weeks ago, and we both got in prayer you were going to be here. So we switched seats, and Ben and I started talking for the next hour and a half.
And there it was.
And I'll get to it the rest.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Yes, I'm so glad that you've written a book. So we're going to find out more about that. We have one segment left, and I'm going to try to get everything into this 7 minutes. So please come back right after the break. Hi, everybody. I'm very sympathetic to people struggling with chronic sicknesses, especially neurological issues, because as a young girl, I was diagnosed with epilepsy, and I used to have a constant electrical storm in my brain, which would cause horrible convulsions. Well, those decades of suffering, combined now with my degree in nutrition and my growing respect for essential oils and the amazing healing properties God put in them on the third day of creation, compelled me to create my very own oil blend called Quiet Brain. Quiet Brain is different than any blend I've ever seen because it's comprised of oils whose special composition is sesquiterpenoids, and they can cross the blood-brain barrier, which not all neurological medicines and not even all essential oils can do. But Quiet Brain's 8 ingredients, frankincense, myrrh, sandalwood, lavender, and more, do. Our case study resulted in testimonies of considerable relief, elimination, at the very least support for PTSD, insomnia, migraines, stress, anxiety, seizures, and more. These aren't medical claims. Everybody's body varies, and so your results will vary. But they are testimonies that cannot be argued with. So go to quietbrainoil.com for our patent-pending oil. It comes in a roller bottle,
a dropper bottle, which is great for diffusing. And there you'll also find our nasal inhalers, candles, shampoo and conditioner, and even our gift box with all the products, plus a diffuser. And download the free ebook while there to understand the science behind Quiet Brain. Again, that's quietbrainoil.com.
Hi everyone, welcome back. I've got Mike Lindell on my sofa for just a few more minutes. So give us the rest of the story,
Okay.
Mike. Come on.
Okay, I'll go fast. So Ben Carson and I were on the plane. He goes, "Yeah, I got 2 weeks ago that you were going to be on this, here and in prayer." So him and I talked about, and I said we talked about he had dropped out of the race and to back down Mr. Trump. And anyway, after I got off there, I flew to Philadelphia. On my way from Philadelphia to California, all of a sudden I get an email in the front seat, and it's from Donald Trump. And he says, "Mike, could you meet me at the Trump Tower? You're in New York City." So that got pushed off to August 15th, 2016.
But can I just stop and say that God has preserved your memory? You've spit out about 10 dates sitting here.
Yeah, I know.
It's amazing that the drugs didn't do
Believe me, I'm
going.
but so I walk in there and I've got these, and I'm going, okay, that dream is coming true now.
Yeah.
And I go into his office, and it is alone. It's him and I. I walk in there and he says, "Mike, you always wear your cross." He says, "Are you a Christian?" I said, yes, Mr. Trump, this is a divine appointment. But we talked about, real quick, the inner cities. We talked about his heart, where it was to help. And we talked about God for, right about the cross. And all the things, after meeting him and walking out, I go, wow. Now, it was everything I prayed he would be. And I go, I would want no one else being my president other than him. But I didn't stop there. I talked to his employees and stuff, and everyone, it was like talking to my employees.
Yeah.
And so I went all in. People say I would never have went all in and back a product or anything if you consider a product.
Right.
But I went 100%. This is what God had me that meeting for.
Absolutely.
I ended up at the second and third debate. I ended up in the public eye for all this.
Wow.
I mean, and obviously, he got elected. I was attacked then. We all know that.
Sure.
The spiritual warfare, all the stuff that happened with, which just made the fame go up.
Yep, it did. That's how God works.
A+ to an F, anybody wants to know. And so it goes to, and then as it moves up now and where it's at, it's gotten to, all the things that we talked about, this foundation I had, where 100% of your money passes through to the need, and you get to hear back of a difference you made in their life. I reverse engineer what a foundation was.
It's ingenious.
But, and that's just the help. But the other part of it, I do speaking. I was doing speaking all the time, and I'm going, you know what, Mike, what do we do for the opiate epidemic and this, because it's so bad now. Yeah. Well, for me, if we've all talked about in the last episode, when my friend came to me and I needed a mentor, so to speak.
Yes.
And I told people, if you can't get, everybody knows of the tragedies that have happened, but everybody also knows of a success story.
Right.
And you go, if you find them, and you go and you bring the addict, and you bring, plus you also the family, you bring them there and go, how did you do it? How did you get through it? And your answers are there. And you know what, when I was saying that, and then you might get there, most of the time it's find out it's Jesus. Yeah. And the addict goes, no, I don't want any of that. Well, now it plants a seed, and he's out there, and when he's down and out again, he goes, let me look back again, It's hope.
Yep.
And this thing that I have coming out too is going to connect the mentors with the addicts and the families.
And
it's an app.
That's
and when
ingenious.
this comes out, it's going to change the world.
Yes.
I have, where you have where to go. You have, so many people have seen my story and heard, by the way, everyone that was on crack back in my day, they all followed suit. Every one of them has quit. And these successes, you need to see that it's hope. Like I say, all my friends that have quit,
hope is big.
People call me all the time. They go, "You were my inspiration," because I'm such out there in the public eye. But you, with this app, can you imagine being connected to if you're a 22-year-old kid and you're addicted to opiates, and you're going, you're in an AA group with 55-year-old alcoholics, you can't relate.
Right.
They don't have the same problems. They don't have the same, inner problems. Wow, we all, believe me, all addiction comes from wounds or trauma. That's it. When you're a child, a fatherlessness, all these things that go on, divorces, all these different things that happen. Those are what you're doing. People are good people that are addicts. They're just doing it to mask the pain.
That's right.
And it's so sad. But if you need to show we need to show hope. and to show them hope and success.
Yes.
You know, all of a sudden you'll see all the stuff the president had talked about, the president now talked about with the inner city stuff. I want to say where we're starting with my foundation and stuff, and when we're starting there and we're going, okay, you give them hope, and then you see, wow, there's, you know, the addicts, and there's six people now. Now there's 10, now there's 20. It's the same way it got to there, we can bring it back in, and to show that, and then and then you can, all the other things can work, you know, with the jobs, you know. I mean, when he came, we talked about that too. He goes, this is my model of how the jobs will be in the country to bring the jobs here. But
wouldn't that be something? Well, let me ask you this: how you mentioned to me previously about a movie. What is that?
Well, the movie. See, this was my my friend Stephen Baldwin. We met in 2014, and we were driving through Times Square, and I said, Stephen, I said, I didn't know that well. I said, Stephen, do you mind? I said, sometime if I come to one of your movie sets, I said, I have a book that's going to come out, and it's going to help so many millions, but I want to make a movie from it. God showed me this a long time ago. And he says, well, I'll do you one better. Why don't we make a movie, brother, so you can learn the end of the thing? And it's called Church People, and it's a Christian comedy we made. It's amazing.
A comedy about church people. That sounds interesting.
And I have a cameo in it, which if I had time to tell the story, it's funny. I dropped the thing and blew it in front of 300 extras. You know,
so what's the name of the movie again?
Church People.
Okay, and that will be out when?
That should be out right around the beginning of February.
Okay, and then the book is called?
What Are the Odds?
What are the odds?
What are the odds? It's, and I'll say from crack addict to CEO.
That's ingenious.
And what I want to do with all those things, where my money is all that's going to go to my foundation.
Of course.
All of it, every dime, even the cost.
I wouldn't expect anything less from you.
And it's like that platform, and for me to help people, that's always been my passion.
You can
and
tell
then
that.
to just, to finally get the platform full circle, to have as much passion for Jesus as the pillow.
Oh, that is so beautiful.
To help,
that is why I wanted to invite you on the show. And I really just have one more order of business, okay? Can you just do one thing for me?
Sure.
Okay, let's see it, guys. Can I have it? Yeah, I just wanted you to autograph my pillow for me, if you would. Okay, so it's Laura. I'm your biggest fan. No, I'm kidding. And guess what, everybody? My pillow's for everybody. Yeah! Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Mike, thanks for being here. And guys, I just want to speak to you and say, if you are in the middle of a moment of addiction right now, or if it's just defining your life, there is freedom in Jesus Christ. Absolutely. All you have to do is pray that prayer, help me, and I guarantee you He will, and your life will never be the same. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time on The Three. Thank you, Mike. Look at that.